One of the greatest stories coming out of the world of mountaineering in 2023, hell, out of the last decade, is the miraculous rescue of Indian climber Anurag Maloo on Annapurna. I interviewed Adam Bielecki, the Polish climber, who, along with Mariusz Hatala, performed the rescue with Adam lowering himself down almost 70 meters into a crevasse for what he thought was going to be a body recovery, discovered that Anurag was actually breathing. Along with a team of Sherpa climbers from Seven Summits Treks, they were able to extricate Anurag from the crevasse and shuttle him down via helicopter and then transported to Kathmandu, where he was resuscitated over the course of 4 hours, and ultimately to Delhi, India, where he stayed in a hospital for 7 months before returning home at the very end of October of this year. 7 months. Today, I have an interview with Anurag Maloo. Many of you have been waiting for it. It is the most mind-blowing interview I've ever done. In this video, I have never before seen exclusive footage that Anurag himself filmed after he fell into the crevasse. The most incredible part about this footage that no one in the world has seen outside of Anurag and his close family and friends is that he doesn't remember filming anything. In fact, he lost all memory of anything that took place in the crevasse. Exclusive to this channel, here is a tiny clip of that footage. Anurag asked me to use only a very little bit, and here it is.
Really praying and hoping someone would come and rescue me. Hello?
When I look at this footage, the first thing that comes to my mind is how scared and lonely and desperate he must have felt when he looked up to the top of the crevasse and saw no one there. It seemed like it was just out of reach. And I can't even imagine the feeling that must have slowly crept up on him that nobody was coming to rescue him. As night fell and it became dark in there and it became colder and more desperate and desolate and silent. It was 3 days later that Adam Bielecki rappelled down into the crevasse when he found Anurag still breathing. Why do I have this rope with me? Adam Bielecki lowered himself down over 60 meters into the crevasse where he discovered Anurag. He said if he had only had a 60-meter rope, which is what this is, he would not have seen Anurag. But because he was climbing in alpine style with Mariusz Hatala, he carried with him a 70-meter rope, which was the critical difference in Adam discovering Anurag, because at the end of a 60-meter rope, he said he would not have seen him, and that extra 10 meters made all the difference in saving the life of Anurag. So I'm going to show you with this rope just what 70 meters looks like. I'll leave one end of the rope here, and then I'll drag this rope all the way out to the end, which will be 60 meters, and then I'll walk an extra approximately 10 meters to show you just how far down the crevasse Anurag was, here being demonstrated in the first snowstorm of the year at my home in New England of the United States. 60 meters was so far that I pulled the rope what I thought might be an extra 8 meters, which was how far Anurag was down the crevasse, 68 meters. And it was so far I couldn't even see the end of the rope. That's how far Anurag was down the crevasse, into which Adam Bielecki rappelled to go discover him. He was extricated out, put on a helicopter, and flown to safety. Before we go to the interview you've all been waiting for, make sure you crash on that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when another video comes out. And also consider becoming a member of this channel, where for 99 cents a month you can get exclusive content, including an awesome interview snippet with Adam Bielecki talking about the world of commercial expedition mountaineering in the Himalayas and beyond today. And now to my interview with Anurag Maloo from his home in India. Your voice already sounds more kind of the intonation much better than just when I saw you a week ago.
Yes.
So how are things going in all the things that you need to relearn?
I mean, pretty much everything is new for me right now, and I think the journey has just started. So I have a long way to go, but I'm sure, it's an exciting journey, and I will be able to, slowly, one step at a time, learn one day at a time.
Pretty incredible story. So I read about it first on Explorer's Web. Angela Benavides has followed the story and has written some incredible accounts, and I was fascinated by it. And of course, truly fascinated that there was a group of people who went and did the most unlikely thing in the world, but it was as if they resurrected you from the dead or something. I mean, that has to be every day must be feel like a gift for you.
Absolutely. Indeed. Indeed. I
Mm.
feel really blessed that way.
You made the decision to turn around before the summit. Can you
Yes.
walk me through how that went down and the events that led to you falling into the crevasse?
Absolutely. So I think it was April 16th when we started, not April 16th, April 15th when we started for the summit push. And around maybe around 10 p.m. or so from Camp 4. And I was using oxygen um, from Camp 4 onwards um till the summit. I think amongst other climbers, I was a little slower. Uh, we were initially at a good pace, but then later on, because I also need, glasses to see, and so I have to put, when it was getting too cold, I had to also put, those ski goggles on my eyes and a few here and there, few things that slowed me down a little bit than other climbers. So by the time when we were almost around 150 meters away or close to the summit, uh, it was not a lot, in terms of the distance from the summit. uh, it was the final cliff that I had to climb to reach the summit, and so it was not very very far. I mean, close to less than 150 meters. That I was so close. But then it was around 1 p.m. or 1:30 or something in afternoon when Chapaldai said, Anurag, you must turn now because the weather is getting, weather in afternoons, late afternoon will get very bad, and no point taking risk. Rather than that, why don't you attempt in couple of more days later on? So that's where I made up my mind that I decided to descend down. So we turned around and started to descend down, and um, timings can be plus minus 30 minutes in terms of what I'm telling you right now. I started descending down and finally reached Camp 4, and around 4:30, close to around 4:30, or maybe 4 o'clock, something on those lines. And I also met Baljit. She was planning to climb Annapurna without oxygen just before reaching Camp 4. So we met there, and so yeah, we had a brief, conversation and interaction. I was wishing her all the best, and she was telling me you need to take care of yourself because I was very tired. And then I was, um, I stayed that night at the Camp 4. So it was April 16th when I stayed on my return while descending down at Camp 4. That next morning, we left early from Camp 4 and we started for Camp 2 so that I can rest there and come back few days later to summit again. So that was the plan, and we were going down from Camp 4. We quickly hit the Camp 3, and I think maybe around 9:30 or 10 o'clock, we were already at Camp 3, and we were on our way to Camp 2. And that's when the incident happened when we were crossing that color, the famous Annapurna color, where the most avalanches happen, the most avalanche prone and area. And that's where I picked up the wrong rope and did not hear what Moses had to say from Brazil. He was telling me that, "Yeah, I'm picking up the wrong rope." This is all I have read and deciphered after reading on internet. I don't remember exactly if I picked up the wrong rope or something else happened. I don't remember, but all of that I have read on internet makes me aware that this is what really happened. Um, and yeah, and then I fell into the crevasse, 300-meter down, 80-meter inside the crevasse, and yeah, and then stayed there for 3 days, 3 nights, and was found on April 20th, when Adam and Marius, along with the Nepali Sherpas, came for the recovery mission, but then it turned into a rescue mission when he saw me alive. And that's how I am here now. Thank you.
Wow. Incredible. So, Anurag, do you remember any part of the actual fall? Like the sense like, oh my gosh, like this is it? Or do you remember any pain or bumping or landing? Like, what can you
Uh,
recall from that?
yeah, so the only thing that I remember that I'm falling. That's it. After that, I don't remember anything. I forgot that, that part, that memory of my first 3 days in the crevasse, and also maybe first initial 10 days, 12 days of hospitalization, maybe 8 to 10 days of initial hospitalization. One day I woke up in the hospital and got consciousness, and my nurses sisters were dressing me up my wounds. So that's the last memory I have, after the first memory I have after getting consciousness back. But I don't remember anything.
You know what? One of my favorite things to watch on YouTube are near-death experience videos of people recounting who've had literally die for 5 minutes, and they have these memories of encountering the divine and going through a tunnel and seeing the light. Did you have? I mean, maybe it won't be a memory for many, many moons, but did anything like that happen? Because certainly you were right on the edge for a very, very long time.
Yeah, great question. I love it. So honestly, none of this happened to me. Um, I somehow I always felt so safe when it came to Annapurna. I always felt that I'm, in safe hands, at a at a safe place. Annapurna always reminded me, that the mother mountain, and then though it's known as the most dangerous and the deadliest amongst everyone, but somehow the connection that I felt always with Annapurna, that this is a safe place for me. And that's how the feeling has always been, even on the entire expedition. I never felt, that overwhelmed or, threatened or felt in any way any different. I climbed very well. I was feeling good. My health was all good. So none of these things really, made me feel in any way distanced or, difficult from that threat is there from Annapurna. I always felt very comfortable and home. So it was not that kind of a feeling, but As I said, my last memory was that I'm falling. That's it. Uh, I forgot all of that. But one thing, that I did inside the crevasse is that I made videos inside the crevasse, and I just saw that. And so that is bringing now some fainted memories of that experience. Oh yes, I now remember that I was actually inside the crevasse. I was sitting there, I was making videos. So there is slight memory that's coming back now, but I forgot all of that. I still don't recall, not able to recall fully anything.
That is absolutely remarkable. I said, when I was on Mount Everest in 2019, and I had a small, like a TIA, like a small mini stroke, right? And
Oh,
but I've been cleared. I did all the tests and everything, and they said, like, no, you don't have any lingering brain issues, if you will. So if you want to go back, you can go back. But something was different in me. Like I was a different person. My wife even said, you're not the same guy that I remember. You want to go for a hike? No. I just wasn't interested in physical fitness or anything. 2 years later, finally, she said, oh, I just got a glimpse of the guy that I knew when he left for Mount Everest. So I think what was happening was my brain was coming back together, which seems kind of crazy in a way, but I know that you understand what I'm talking about. So I'm thinking that maybe over time, soon you'll piece little bits together, and in 2 years you'll be like, here's the story. I hit the bottom, because your body and brain, it's all healing right now.
exactly. I agree. I hope that I can, remember everything that I was doing those 3 days inside the crevasse. I wish, I really want to also remember, because I'm myself very curious. How did I survive those 3 days? What did I do? How did I kept myself motivated, or, kept myself busy and engaged, and not let myself getting distracted with this, or kept myself very hopeful that there is some help coming my way. It might take time. So I'm also equally curious to know all of these answers.
I don't know if you know this, but I spoke with Adam. I did an interview with Adam. He said that after you were taken out of the crevasse, that they were in base camp and you had flown away on the helicopter, and Adam and Mariusz were celebrating and so excited. And he goes, and we looked at the Sherpa, and they weren't sharing our joy. They were thinking, there's no way this guy is going to live. And they were like, that's so weird. Like, but it was just getting you out was only the beginning. So there was a lot of life-saving effort. Have you been told, like, was there CPR? Was there dramatic? So can you kind of give me a little bit of that? What happened to keep you alive?
Sure. So I was given 4 hours. So I was quickly transported from Annapurna base camp in a helicopter to Pokhara at Manipal Hospital in Pokhara. That's where the 4 hours of CPR was given to me. After 2.5 hours, they saw little bit of movement on my vein here at my neck, and that's where my brother noticed, and he asked doctors to look at it, and then they also saw it 3 times, and that's where they started to continue giving CPR for till 2.5 hours, and then another 1.5 hours after that. And so I think that's how my initial breath came back, and then they quickly transported me to Kathmandu from Pokhara airlifted, and because they said now there's a chance that I could potentially survive if I'm breathing, so they, without any slowing down, they quickly transported me to Kathmandu.
Incredible. You know, one thing I want to jump back to that's really fascinating to me, and I understand it was like before you went to Annapurna, you said that you just had this feeling about it, a good, warm, protected feeling. Is that so? That's a sixth sense kind of thing. Like some people might say it's a spiritual thing, but it's
Yeah.
something connected outside of our body, like, you know,
Yes,
has that
absolutely.
has that been an important part of your life? And do you think that, even though you don't remember, do you think that's what Annapurna was trying to tell you something before? Like maybe this is an experience you were supposed to go through, or
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, how I look at my life is I feel you know I don't feel any trauma or anything. Rather, what I feel is that, I've embraced everything that has happened as part of my life journey. And without this would have happened to me, my life would have been incomplete. Maybe this is a small step to help me figure out the purpose of my new life. So this is more like that this was, I think, how I have said this in earlier one of the interviews is that, you know I think I was ready. Mountains got me ready to experience something like this in last 4 years and 3 years. And once I was ready, then it happened to me. It would not have happened if I was not prepared or ready to experience something like this. So mountains make sure over the years that, am I, can I handle something of this magnitude in my life? Can I prepare myself over these years to handle something like this if it happens? And I think, mountains are my always my biggest teacher, and they have got me ready to witness, to experience this firsthand. And I think, I strongly think, honestly, if it was someone else, they would not necessarily would have survived. So I feel always that I'm the chosen one, and it's a part of my story, and I'm, happily embracing it, accepting it the way it is. That without this incident, my life would have been much different. But now this is only getting better.
so beautifully said. That's really wonderful. So you've embraced it and welcomed it. It made, yeah, it's sometimes traumatic experiences are just what we need to see life from a different light, or to drive us more quickly toward what it is that we're endeavoring to become. You had a lot of living spirit guides, people working very hard to keep you alive. Miraculous that all the little pieces of the puzzle came together. And as you just said, maybe you had guides up there feverishly working to keep you safe. If all those individuals were in this room behind me right now, what would you say to them?
I would just thank them. Thank you for believing in me that I will not give up, because everyone, those who were involved in healing, in telepathy, in communicating with me, everyone said the same thing, that I'm conscious and I'm alive and nothing has happened. So, pretty much everyone around the world, those who were communicating with me while I was inside the crevasse, everyone said the same thing, that nothing has happened to me and I'm fine. And honestly, looking at those videos now, I was fine till April 19th evening. I was absolutely fine. Obviously, there was pain, I'm getting chilblains and all of that, but I was overall fine, sitting there making my videos, talking to myself in the camera, asking for help. So, and all the things that people said, you know, I never used to believe in these things or Reiki or, these things. I never really, got my attention, honestly. But now I started to believe that there is something that I don't understand. Maybe there is some science or art which some people understand. They can communicate with people, these energies, you know. Maybe this is not something I get it, but it does not mean that this does not exist. Some people have the power to communicate, heal, can talk to you. So, and whatever the things they said, they all came out eventually true when I was, came out. Some people even said that my right side of the body will get majorly affected. And this is what happened. My right side of the body, my right hand, and my right torso to upper thigh, they were all, badly affected. And so a lot of these kind of things that, were shared during that time were all coming true.
Wow. So in that, thank you for that. For physically speaking, so you said your right side, was there frostbite or what, like, and what are the things that you're working on now with, including walking?
Yeah. So I had almost four skin surgeries, plastic surgeries. So I can show you a little bit of my hand, for example. So this whole hand till here is newly skin. Same on my chest from here till my upper thighs. So this is all new skin. And on the other side also, I have some amputations where I've lost my thumb, my index finger, my toes, and then the tips of these fingers. So a couple of amputations, and yeah, and then also my skin on my feet is also new, because they were all turned into black through to severe frostbite. So the skin on my feet is also newly, grafted skin. And yeah, so my body got severely affected, and that's why they were very like even doctors were wondering for a long time, even in the hospital, that they don't even knew how long I will be able to push through this, journey in the hospital itself. What if I break down? What, if it's over? And because every step was a little risk for them, from transporting me to India, within India, getting all the surgeries done, initially getting my all core, organs to stabilize, my kidneys, lungs, liver, heart. Um, I was in a very bad shape, all my rest of the body. Like, think of it like when your body shuts down and it has to restart again. So I was basically, everything got shut down, and it was all restarting after that 4 hours of CPR. So some people even said that for a very slight moment, for almost 1 and 1.5 hours, there has been, people though to it that has told that um, I left my body. I was almost declared even dead. And I don't know how miraculously so many millions of wishes and prayers and blessings have come and got me back to life. Even they all fought with God or whatever, higher power to bring me back. And yeah, because God, my doctors even say this, we have not seen something like this in our lifetimes. This, your case, for us, it's itself is a miracle that today you are able to walk and, do all of these things. So
Yeah.
one day at a time. I'm right now focusing on my full body recovery. I have to gain weight. I have to do a lot of physiotherapy for at least 6 months or even a year if needed. So it all depends how fast my body recovers and gets strength, because I'm weak right now. I get very tired, so it takes time for me to do, like, I'm slow right now. I'm not as fast or agile as what I used to be. So things have changed now for me, and I have accepted, I'm getting terms with it, that this is my new story, and it's going to be okay. So I'm relearning, pretty much everything again. And yeah, I can't complain. I'm very grateful for what I have, and this new life and the new opportunity to, live my life again. So I hope that, I can r- discover my new purpose in life now, that why I've been given a chance to live again. What am I supposed to do? What difference I should be making in my this new life? And I know for sure that this is not only my life now. I've lived my life for 34 years, but now this life is for a larger purpose, for a higher purpose that I need to serve. I need to, dedicate my life towards that. And this is something I don't know. I've always felt, since being in the hospital, that uh, I have a larger reason that I'm still here.
Anurag, on behalf of myself, and I am sure thousands of people who will watch this video, thank you for sharing your story. It is remarkable and inspiring, and we know that great things await you. I'll put a link to the interview with Adam Bielecki in the notes of this video, and also a link to how you can find the social media for Anurag. Anurag will also be checking the comments of this video, so if you want to wish him well or make any comments, be sure to put them on this video. Let me know what you think of this interview, and if you've enjoyed what you've seen on Everest Mystery. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I want to continue to bring you more content like this that's inspiring, that makes your day, your life a little bit better because you took the time to watch one of these videos. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to see this video. There's more coming in 2024. It's going to be an amazing year. I appreciate you. Be well. Take care of yourselves. Do a good deed. Don't ask for anything in return. Be well, my friends.